In the 12th century, when the Middle East was torn apart by war, betrayal, and crusades, a leader emerged whose name would be remembered, not for cruelty, but for honor. That man was Salahuddin Ayyubi, known to the West as Saladin. Born in 1137 in Tikrit, Salahuddin came from a Kurdish family with a military background. His childhood was not shaped by luxury or power, but by discipline, faith, and the harsh realities of conflict. Moving to Damascus as a boy, he studied religion, leadership, and military strategy. Unlike many warriors of his time, Salahuddin was deeply religious, soft-spoken, and thoughtful, traits that would later define his rule. His rise to power didn't begin with ambition for a throne. Instead, it began through service. Salahuddin joined the army of Nur ad-Din, the ruler of Syria, who sought to unite Muslim lands against the Crusader states. Through loyalty, intelligence, and battlefield discipline, Salahuddin proved himself not as a reckless fighter, but as a commander who understood patience, timing, and unity. When Nur ad-Din sent an expedition to Egypt, Salahuddin went with his uncle Shirkuh. After years of political struggle, Salahuddin unexpectedly became the ruler of Egypt. At first, many doubted him. He was young, he was foreign, and he ruled a divided land. But instead of ruling through fear, Salahuddin focused on reform. He strengthened the economy, restored Sunni Islam, and built a loyal army, not through force, but through trust. After the death of Nur ad-Din, the Muslim world once again faced fragmentation. Instead of fighting fellow Muslims for power, Salahuddin chose a different path. Through diplomacy, strategic marriages, and selective warfare, he united Egypt, Syria, and surrounding regions under one banner. For the first time in decades, the Muslim world stood united, and that unity would soon be tested. The Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem controlled sacred lands and often ruled with brutality. Escalated when Crusader forces repeatedly violated peace treaties, attacking Muslim caravans and civilians.
Salahuddin understood that war was now inevitable, but he would fight it on his own terms.
In 1187, the two great forces met at the Battle of Hattin. Under the burning sun, Salahuddin used strategy instead of brute force. He cut off water supplies, exhausted the Crusader army, and then struck decisively. The Crusader forces collapsed. It was one of the most decisive victories in medieval history. With the Crusader army destroyed, the road to Jerusalem lay open. When Salahuddin entered the city later that year, the world expected revenge. Less than a century earlier, Crusaders had massacred Muslims and Jews in the city without mercy. But Salahuddin chose a different legacy. He allowed Christian civilians to leave safely. Churches were protected. No mass slaughter occurred. Even his enemies were shocked. A Christian chronicler later wrote that Salahuddin showed more mercy than the kings of Europe. His reputation spread across continents. Even Richard the Lionheart, his greatest enemy during the Third Crusade, respected him deeply. When Richard fell ill, Salahuddin sent his personal physician. When Richard lost his horse in battle, Salahuddin sent him a new one. This wasn't weakness. It was power guided by principle. Despite endless wars, Salahuddin lived modestly. When he died in 1193, he left behind almost no personal wealth. His treasury was empty because he had given most of it to the poor. The man who ruled lands from Egypt to Syria died with only a simple shroud. But his legacy did not die with him. Salahuddin became a symbol of justice, restraint, and leadership. In the Muslim world, he is remembered as the Lion of Islam. In the West, he is remembered as the most honorable enemy the Crusaders ever faced. His name became synonymous with chivalry, even among those he defeated. History remembers conquerors who ruled through fear, but it remembers Salahuddin because he ruled through honor. And that is why, centuries later, his legend still stands in Brooke. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story from history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.